Good morning, everyone. How are we doing this morning? It is 129-2025, December 9th, 2025. Wake Up Justin Live every Monday, 8 through 10, Tuesday, 7 through 9. Then the rest of the week, Wednesday through Friday, 8 through 10, I will be here live, YouTube. I work a little earlier on Tuesdays. That's why I come on earlier on Tuesdays. Then 8 o'clock. Excuse me for the yawning. That's why the show has two meanings. Like, wake up, Justin, like, wake up, because I waking up from the morning, or waking up to the morning. And then, like, wake up, Justin, like, wake up from the, uh, the so called Matrix. So, two meanings in the show's name. But I think that was pretty self prevalent when people click on the show about it. So, I'm not. That's kind of obvious what it is. Yesterday's morning monologue is still. I'm still working on the video for that. I'm not sure how I'm gonna edit that still yet, or what I'm gonna do with that one. That was more of a serious, like I said, prophetic warning for future humans of the world and future humanization of what could become of AI, robots, and the system, which I believe eventually will be uh, the Antichrist itself. Like I said yesterday, they'll calm the waters for a little bit. They'll let things go back to normal to give people a false sense of security and all that kind of stuff because they created the problem. So best believe they surely can fix it. You know, that's their thing too. It's like they created it, so they can fix it. Wow, that Nick Fuentes Pierce Morgan interview has 2 million views. Really? It was a good interview. I did watch it. Um, I get what he's coming at and stuff like that. It's like, I get where he's coming at. 'Cause at a certain point, it's like we gotta move past all this stuff, man. We gotta move past it all, dude. We can't just keep on living in the past, dude. Like, I get it. Bad things happen. People got killed and stuff like that. But you can't keep on living in the past. I mean, you can't. That also means like you don't forget about it or you don't recognize it. But we can't keep on living in it. Yeah, at some point we have to move forward from our history. You know, just like you do in your own personal life. In your own personal life, you move forward from your history. You don't let certain things or certain things dictate who you are or how you live your life. You know, like I lost a parent and stuff like that, but I don't live in the past. I don't live every day like woe is me type thing or relive the moment every day in my head or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, so at some point, like as people, we had to move on from the past of our past. Otherwise, we'll never move forward ever. We'll just keep on living in that moment. So I get what he's trying to say, and he was messing with Pierce pretty bad. It was pretty funny though, but he's not wrong. I don't think he's wrong with the stuff he says. I don't think he's like out of pocket for it. You know, like I said, I am a true believer in full on free speech, man. Because eventually the truth will always rise to the top. You know, the truth will always come out. It will always rise to the top. You know, and like a lot of the problem today is just like that. Things aren't allowed to battle each other. Things aren't allowed to fight each other. It's like everything is stagnant and nothing's allowed to really. You know, there is no clear winner of anything, of ideas, of thoughts, of laws, or nothing like that. You know, it's just a certain group of people dictate what the rest do, and that's not how. And that's not how a civilization in the world should work. You know, a certain group of people, whoever it may be, shouldn't be able to dictate how people live their lives and how things are, and you know. It's not how it works. Like I said earlier too, like I said like 2 minutes ago, it's like they created this problem, they can fix the problem. That's not the issue, but well, it's kind of the issue because it's not really a false, it's not really a true sense of peace in the world. It's a false sense of peace in the world, you know. And then once all this gets done with, we're gonna have to somehow figure ourselves out again somehow, while they're trying to um, bring in and usher in, you know, whatever they're trying to do, the Antichrist, full control over people, full predictability over people, and all those things, you know. So it's like, at a certain point, I mean, you're gonna have to. I don't know. At a certain point, you have to let. You have to let people be people, I think, and just stop trying to control everyone, and stop trying to make um, people conform and be a certain way and think a one way and live one way and do one thing and all those things. You gotta stop it, you know. Um, but my time here is short today. Like I said, I got to work early. I still want to go to the gym, so I got to leave my house by, you know, I need to be back home by 10 o'clock. Um, you know, I usually go for the gym for an hour or so. Like you got me maybe for an hour today before I get off here. And so since time is short, and I did talk for over an hour yesterday, my morning monologue, um, I will. We're gonna watch videos mostly today, just because I talked so much yesterday that like I gotta reset myself and myself's brain after that discussion we had
I wake up
the other day about the end times, Antichrist, AI systems, and all that stuff. You know.
There comes a point in every believer's walk where you look into the mirror and feel frustrated, maybe even ashamed, because you're still wrestling with the very sin God once freed you from. You prayed, you promised yourself you were done, you even felt God lifting the weight off your shoulders. But somehow, days or weeks later, you end up right back where you started, caught in the same habits, the same temptations, the same patterns you swore you'd never return to. And when that happens, it's easy to believe the lie that you're a failure, or that maybe God is tired of you, or that you're too weak to ever change. But honestly, going back to the old sins doesn't mean God has given up on you. It means you're in a real spiritual battle, and the enemy is trying to drag you back into the chains Jesus already shattered. Today, I want to walk with you step by step through how to break the.
Hmm. I almost want to watch this, but then I don't want to watch it because it's over an hour. That's the thing. Do I have anything to say on my playlist to watch? Oh, let's see here. What is it?
It's kind of controversial, but
No, just the roundtable thing I wanted to watch. We watched that.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, President Trump.
How about keeping it on farming? Your team answered all of my questions on
Votes.
farming, but I do have
You have a farm
Mr.
question?
President, in the interest of affordability with this aid package, I assume that that's something you want consumers to see before midterms next year. How quickly will that affect prices at the grocery store?
Well, I think the prices are going to be going down already. I mean, the prices are way down. We brought prices way down from what it was. We inherited high prices. We inherited the biggest inflation in the history of our country.
Man, why is he so
That means
orange?
prices going up.
He's so orange.
And we brought it down very substantially. Now inflation is essentially gone.
Holy cow, dude.
The undergirding foundational effort in that is our agriculture industry. It is our
She's great.
Bruce Blakeman, who you also know.
He's also great.
Are you planning on making any endorsements or having any choices?
He's great and she's great. They're both great people. We have a lot of great people with the Republican Party. Go ahead.
Can I get back to farming?
Yeah.
So you talked about the profitability issue, the machinery playing a role in that. I know fertilizer plays another role in that. A lot of that, the way I understand it, it comes in from Canada, different countries like that. What are we doing to bolster domestic fertilizer production to help make that more affordable? And then I think that will transition
Well, one
down
of
the
the things,
pipeline.
a lot of it does come in from Canada.
the seed companies.
You know, some things we can't grow because we don't have the heat. There are some things, you know, little delicacies or maybe not such delicacies, but they grow better in warm.
Okay, well, you know, that doesn't,
Conor McGregor is going viral again, and this time not for reasons that people expected. He just claimed that during a psychedelic trip, he was shown his own death and that Jesus himself appeared to him. So he's claiming that this encounter is actually what brought him to his newfound faith and walk with Christ. Wild, right? Well, the thing that stopped me cold about this story is that the exact same thing happened to me. So what we're going to do is I'm going to break down Conor's story. I'm going to show you the receipts, and then I'm going to share my own testimony about how when I too thought that I died during a hallucinogenic trip and how God revealed himself to me and how that changed the trajectory of my life, my walk with Christ. So after that, though, we're going to look at the most important part of the story.
For sure. I'm not here. I am not here just by chance. There is a higher power, God, that dictates my journey and all of our journeys. And I live my life by God's word. And since around that time that you mentioned at the last event, I've engaged on a spiritual journey. And I'm saved, I am healed. And you know, on the back of that, the world is in for a treat. The world is in for a treat. My competitive spark that was once in my heart is now a roaring blaze. So I'm very excited. You know, I envy these men up here on this dais. They're right about to make weight, and they're to go in and enjoy and entertain and do what they were called to do, as am I called to do it. And,
I mean,
you know, I'm eager to get back. And right now I had to dial myself in and go inward. And that I done. And I'm very, very excited to come back my own self.
So I actually saw this clip when it first came out, and I was wondering, like, what could have made Conor have such a change of heart, right? And we got answers to that a few days ago on Twitter, or on X. He says right here, here's his story of how he met Christ through this psychedelic trip. Says, hey guys, I'm back. I was blessed to meet the most forward-thinking doctors from Stanford University and undergo a series of treatments to address trauma. I traveled to Tijuana, Mexico, and underwent Ibogaine, if I'm saying that right, treatment at Ambio. Watched the Netflix documentary just released titled In Waves and War, as it is the exact place I went. It was incredible, intense, and absolutely eye-opening. I was shown what would have been my death, how soon it was to be, and how it would have impacted my children. I was looking down on myself as it happened, and then I was looking out from the coffin. God then came to me in the Holy Trinity. He is mighty. Jesus, his child, Mary, his mother, the archangels, all present in heaven. I was shown the light. Jesus descended from the white marble steps of heaven and anointed me with a crown. I was saved. My brain, my heart, my soul healed. I was 36 hours under before I finally rested. When I awoke, I was me again. The most enlightening and enchanting experience I've ever undertaken. This treatment is worth its weight in gold. It is very, very tough, but it absolutely saved my life and in turn my family. Thank you for all your inspiration, yada, 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 and for your prayers.
I get it. I get what he's saying. Well, it's just like, your ultimate beta. What we're gonna do? I mean, like I said, yesterday was such a talking speech that it drained it out on me, man. This is gonna be the best stream I've done. I'll tell you that much today.
And can't do. But again, the other thing we have over here with this.
The Lord Jesus said, when my church was born in the New Testament, the time of grace began. But a time will come. The time of grace I'll put an end to it and I'll shut the door. When I shut the door, Christians will come and beg me for mercy. I will hear them no longer. Why do I need to shut the door on the church of the New Testament? Because the Israelite people are also my church of the Old Testament. I am the good shepherd to both Old and New Testament. My church has two branches. One is Old Testament and the other New Testament. When I came to the lost sheep of the Israelite nation, the Old Testament church. They denied me. But Romans 11:25, St. Paul says it was partial blindness that happened to the Israelite people. Why? Because I want to save the pagans as well. I want to establish my church in the New Testament as well. That's why partial blindness happened to the Jewish people in order for me to come and establish my kingdom in the Gentiles. But since it was partial blindness, I have to shut the door in the New Testament's face so that I can go back and heal my Old Testament people in that last week that still hasn't been fulfilled. Yes? The time of grace, God only knows how long it is. But He gave us signs when the time of grace is going to come to an end. 21st century, there's a lot of strong signs that the time of grace is coming to an end for us, the New Testament church. The Gospel of St. Matthew chapter 25. The Lord Jesus gave the parable about the virgins, the 10 virgins, 5 wise and 5 unwise. The 10 virgins, He's talking about the New Testament church. The 10 virgins He's talking about the New Testament church. What happened? The 5 wise, they had oil in their lamps. The unwise ones, they didn't have oil. When the Messiah came at midnight, they got up, their lamps were off, and they had no oil to refill them. So they went to buy oil. By the time they went to buy and come back, the Messiah took those who were ready, the wise virgins, into the banquet, shut the door. The unwise came back, knocking, begging, open the door for us. He said, I don't know who you are, you evildoers. Away with you. Go to hell, the place prepared for Satan and his foul spirits. Now that door being shut is the end to the time of grace. The door, just like He opened it to us, a time will come He will shut it, because He needs to go back and save the Israelite nation, the Old Testament church, the first branch to Jesus Christ the Good Shepherd. So in order to go back to them, he needs to shut the door in our face. Just like the door was shut in their face, in order for the door to be opened in our face, now the time has to come. The door must be shut in our face for him to go back to the Jewish people and save them. He will save them in that last week of Daniel's prophecy. That last week is 7 years. What is the last week? The Great Tribulation. The Great Tribulation, where Israel will be struck by a superpower nation. And that will be the end. You can kiss everything else goodbye. So don't fight over a car, a house, a money. Don't fight over no materialistic things. Don't be upset, my daughter, your face is not as beautiful as someone else's. Be happy with what you have. Be happy with who you are and what you are. Be happy. Thank God for everything he has done for you. Thank God. Don't ever try to be someone God never intended you to be. So the time of grace will be coming to an end. The door will be shut in the New Testament church's face. Those Christians who are left after the time of grace is finished, they would hope they had never been born. From what kind of a hell they will go through. It's not easy to deny Jesus Christ. It's not easy to sell him like Judas Iscariot did. It's not easy. There's a price to be paid for it. There's a price. So to all church leaders, and I'm the least of all, I'm the least of all of them. Not easy, my dear friend, to please people and upset Jesus. Not easy, my dear friend, to associate yourself with high caliber people in government positions and other places, and you sell him like Judas Iscariot did. My dear friend, a time is coming, and it is very near. When the time of grace is over, you can be the Pope, you can be the Patriarch, you can be an Archbishop, you can be a Bishop, you can be a priest, you can be whoever you want to be. But when the time of grace is over, I can assure you, Jesus Christ will not be that Mr. Nice Guy anymore.
Yeah, because...
Oh, he won't. The all-merciful, the all-loving, the all-forgiving God, he will be sharper than a double-edged sword. Fire will be devouring everything. Fire will go before him and devour everything. You will see Jesus in a way that you have never ever experienced in your entire life. Jesus in his first coming was the lamb. In his second coming he will be the lion. The lamb is very humble, very quiet, very peaceful, hopeless. They dragged him in the streets of Jerusalem. He never opened his mouth. They kicked him, punched him, spat at him, and told him off. He never replied and retaliated. They stripped him, lashed him, whipped him, and nailed him naked fully on the cross, and not even a whisper came out of his mouth. That lamb is not going to be the lamb when he comes again. He will come as the lion, the King of all kings and the Lord of all lords. The whole world will be trembled under his feet when he comes in the second time. No more lamb. He will devour those who denied him and sold him. The Christians, the so-called Christians. Oh, they'll cop it. And the only way for the Israelite people to come back to Jesus, where they are still living in total denial. Some are coming back now, but the majority are still living in total denial. They say the Messiah never came. That was not Jesus that was crucified. That's a fabricated story. Christians made it up. The true Messiah hasn't come yet. They are still living in total denial and in stubbornness. They will never have their sight reopened again and restored again to fullness, because they've got partial blindness. That's why they denied him. Yes? Romans 11:25, partial blindness, so that the fullness of the Gentiles is complete. Jesus Christ had in mind from the Gentiles this perfect number. He's going to get from the Gentiles. Once that number is reached, the time of grace is gone. You can be a Christian, you can call on Jesus, he will never come again. He's got a number in his head, in his mind, from the Gentiles, the New Testament. He will save as many as he can. The Christians and the non-Christians are living in denial of Jesus Christ. My beloveds, the church is rebellious today. The church is living in a rebellious way. It's rebelling against the Lord. So the Lord is giving a chance to the church, those leaders, those Christians, baptized souls that have walked away from Jesus, saying, come back, because the time of grace is closing. Not much left. And he's bringing the non-Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, you name them, atheists, he's bringing them to him. Once that number is reached, the door will be shut. There is no one that can open it again. Once that door is shut, those left out Christians, they would wish they had never lived. And the Lord will go back to Israel. That's his church as well. It's the branch of the Lord Jesus' church in the Old Testament. He's going to go back to them. He made a promise to Abraham. I'm going to visit your children. I'm going to bless them all. That promise has to be fulfilled. In my first coming, they denied me because I can go to the Gentiles. In my second coming, the Gentiles will have to now miss out to go back to the Israelites. The promise made to Abraham, Genesis 22:18. When he goes back to the Israelite nation, the only way they're going to come back when he puts them through the Great Tribulation. The Holocaust would be walk in the park compared to what will happen to the Jewish people in the end. Holocaust is nothing. Even though Hitler was a Freemason. And it's a fabricated story that he killed himself and he was burned. None of this nonsense. Anyway, we don't care. This is childish behavior.
Yeah.
But look, the Israelites will only wake up and say, have mercy on us, son of David. Have mercy on us, when they get squashed by the Messiah. Squashed. Now that being squashed is the last week that has been left out. Hasn't been lived by the Israelite nation yet. Daniel's prophecy, 70 weeks. The last week is still left out. That was left out because the time of grace kicked in, the New Testament church. He said, I'll leave the Israelite now. I'm going to focus on the Gentiles. Once I get the full number, the fullness of the Gentiles is done. Once the number is complete, that's it. The door is shut in the New Testament's face. Then I'll go back to the Israelite, the Old Testament church, and I'll put him through the Great Tribulation, which is going to last 7 years. 7 years, my beloved, is a very short time. But only God knows what kind of a tribulation it is that you can't even last through it for 1 second, let alone 7 years. And that is why the 7 years, out of love and mercy, the Lord Jesus divided it into 2 halves. 3.5 years, 42 months, 1,260 days, times and half a time. He divided it. He said the first 3.5 will be the beginning of the pain, but the last 3.5, that's where you will not be able to last, because of the wrath of God coming down on Israel and the entire globe. Oh my goodness, what the Lord is going to do. And the secret societies, they think they are smart. They have no idea what's coming their way.
Yeah.
When Jesus surprises them. The Almighty God revealed in the flesh. We're living in the time of grace. It is a time where God is gracious with everyone. It is the time now where you come to the Almighty, sovereign God, the awesome, the most, there is no one like Him, the fearful God. You will come to Him and He will treat you like a friend. He will treat you like His own child. He will treat you as the son, and He is serving you.
London's newest district.
Yes, I know. I was just reality, so this is holders, the circle, which is like, well, who was it? Lord Alfred Milner, or some kind of school or something over there. Why do children have to scream and shout all the time? Wow, this is like a weird hall of mirrors, look. And although this should otherwise be, you know, a peaceful, relaxing place to chill out, it does sort of, I mean, all the just add that private and you shouldn't film it. It shouldn't be on display through clear windows, right? This is a public area. This is a public footpath, basically. Am I right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So there we go. I know that it's part of the security training to try and stop people from filming, but I can see you retreating, so I won that battle, right? No, I wasn't filming you. I wasn't filming you, I promise. I was filming your amazing sculptures here, like this infinity hypercube that you have there. That thing there. That is extraordinary, right? You see it every day, so you're probably desensitized to it. But somebody like me, I come along here, I see something like that, of course I'm going to film it. And this is a public footpath, so it's all good, right? Yeah, come on just sit there while you wait for your appointment and just have a little read of our literature. The Phantom Atlas. And Natural Wonders. A tree, it's sort of like, it's an propagandists.
Weird.
What the?
That's really weird. Huh. Merry Christmas Parade 1927? What is that? Ba, 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 ba. I don't know what. Might just call it, actually. I might just call it and get ready for the day, really, and head to the gym and stuff, man. I don't know what to really do on stream today. I really don't.
And you are a nigger.
You are an idiot. No,
I am racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world.
On to a different phrase. You lost of sign.
That's nigger. I am racist. And you are a nigger.
You are an idiot. No,
I am racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world. Don't be disrespectful.
You ruined your life, by the way.
Oh, talking about...
I work at Cinnabon.
A Trump supporter just got caught on camera being racist to a Somalian couple in a Cinnabon in Wisconsin.
Here's the problem. Her Facebook includes pictures of signs supporting Kamala Harris and abortion rights. Right here, women's choice is on the ballot. Vote Democrat, Biden, Harris. This is a video that's been going viral, obviously. Now, we want to show you what has gone viral, and then we want to show you some context that is missing. And what you have been told is this is a racist lady who unleashed a tirade onto these innocent Somalis, a Trump voter who obviously is a dyed-in-the-wool racist. Couple of things. We're just going to front load this for you. She is not. She's very clearly a Democrat activist. This is someone who could have been instigated. We don't know. We do know there's some context that's missing when you watch the full clip. And she's had to deal with a community where, 1/3 of Somalis in her area are completely unemployed. A third don't speak any English whatsoever. And $1 billion have been stolen in welfare fraud scams in the Minneapolis or Minnesota area alone. So you comment below and let me know what you think. Once upon a time, or really just 5 years ago, if you'd have heard this and the lady calls someone the N-word, you go, okay, well, that's out of line. And it's still out of line, but I think people now go, I'll allow it. I kind of understand it. I kind of get the frustration. We've seen too many examples of this where then you add a little bit of context and you understand. And then we've seen too many examples of people being killed on subways by ethnic minorities in packs, or people being beaten up, people being subject to the knockout game. where folks are kind of in defense mode. And this is what I was warning people about in the barbershop in Black and White and the Gray Issues. You're going to see more of this as opposed to the 90s where we grew up, where you had Family Matters and Fresh Prince, and the biggest faces, the most recognizable faces on earth were Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, so 2.5. And now we're at a point in not a post-racial, but a post-racial America. So here is the viral clip of the lady in question that's been circulating the most.
That's nigger. I am racist.
So idiot, for
And
real.
you are a nigger.
You are an idiot. No,
I
I'm
am
not.
racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world. Don't be disrespectful.
You ruined your life, by the way.
Oh, talking about...
I work at Cinnabon. I'm capable of doing that myself.
You're not gonna be working here.
Suck it.
Suck what? Look how you fucking look like.
What's wrong with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you, you fucking ugly bitch? Get the fuck out of my
Ugly?
face.
Talking about ugliness?
Did I stutter?
Yes. Yeah.
I do appreciate the D-Generation X going Triple H. I didn't fully expect that.
No. I looking at her, I see that coming. She's missing a cigarette, but I saw that coming from a mile away.
It's one of those things where, like you said, you're ruining your life. Like, she works at Cinnabon.
Come on.
Like, she does not have that much left to lose.
In a mall, okay?
Yeah.
Like, this is like, there are layers to this.
And two things can be true, right? She could be out of line, and she's undoubtedly correct when she says, you ugly bitch, because we could reverse the camera. I've seen what Somalis look like. So here's the clip with a little more context where if you watch, you go, oh, this tells us there was a lead-in. We don't know what it is, but there certainly was a relevant lead-in.
Oh, I'm sure.
Sexualizing your body makes you a better person.
Are you recording?
I'm gonna record you. Yes.
Do you want me to throw water on you?
It's polite.
That's nigger. I am racist.
So idiot, for
And
real.
you are a nigger.
You are an idiot. No,
I
I'm
am
not.
racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world. Don't be disrespectful.
You ruined your life, by the way.
Oh, you talking about respect? You talking about respect? You are fired from this place, motherfucker. You're not gonna be working here.
Suck it.
What's wrong with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you, you fucking ugly bitch? Get the fuck out of my face.
Suck
Talking about ugliness?
Did I stutter?
You're the ugliest person I ever seen in my life.
Good.
Fuck.
Your fucking
No, we're
face
not.
for
No,
what?
we're not. No, we're not.
Because you know damn well you're a
That's
fucking
respect.
evil
That's
fuck.
respect. Keep squeezing that caramel, bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
Just fire on the Cinnabon?
Yeah, I don't know. None of it's good. To be clear, none of it's good.
Yeah.
But still, first off, where are the people outraged about the mistreatment of women? Where you bitch, you dumb bitch. Where are the people out there, discussing slut shaming? Where you're sexualizing your body, which I don't even know how that happens, considering she's wearing 2 layers and an apron. Is it because she's not wearing a hijab? But that's how it opens up. So here's what you are seeing the clip that these people who started filming, right? They circulated, and then you're seeing a viral clip where other leftists took the content from this Somali group of people and cut off the front half because they thought even that is a little too much if we're trying to paint this person as just an evil, white, roving racist. So I think there's a little bit more to the story, but it is when she went to the degenerate, like it really does. She looks like a little bit professional wrestler. So you are the guy stutter, poor
Nothing.
Bezos have. So the in between sexts.
A Trump supporter just got caught on camera being racist to a Somalian couple in a Cinnabon in Wisconsin, and the video went so viral that she ended up getting fired. This has also been discovered. Her mugshot, her full name, Crystal Therese Wilsley, and the charges against her, endangering children 3 times. She was booked in Ohio back in 2022.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's true, here's the problem. Her Facebook includes pictures of signs supporting Kamala Harris and abortion rights. Right here, women's choice is on the ballot. Vote Democrat, Biden, Harris, and do MAGA on those things that are.
But that has been shown. Like some black.
Exactly. So, honey, it's one of those wait.
I want to finish the rest of the Nick Fuentes interview actually more than anything. I didn't watch all of it. I mean, I watched most
Times
of it.
reader. You're a New York Times reader, an NPR fan, a Daily
I
Wire.
ended right here on this.
You're a
last
paid-up
night.
hire of the government. Is that true?
No.
That's where I ended it. I was watching this on my own.
You've never worked for the government in any capacity.
I've never talked to federal law enforcement. And actually, I've testified to that fact under oath when I was subpoenaed by the Congress. People leave that part out. But I got subpoenaed, I think, in January 2022, I think it was. And I was deposed by the subcommittee, the House Select Subcommittee on January 6th. And they asked me, did you speak with any federal law enforcement? And under oath, I said, no, I've never had contact with them. I've never turned over devices. So no, absolutely not.
There's been footage that's come out again this week. This is you at the January the 6th riots. Let's take a look.
It appears we are taking the Capitol back. Keep marching and don't relent, never relent. Break down the barriers and disregard the police. This Capitol belongs to us. The police are evacuating the Capitol. Politicians those rats scurry out of the people's house.
So you're heard there shouting down your loud hailer, break down the barriers and disregard the police. The Capitol belongs to us now. What did you mean by that?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. The Capitol belongs to the people.
Disregard the police. So you don't support law and order?
No, I support law and order. But on that day, the police were brutal. The police killed somebody, Ashley Babbitt. And, you know, they were throwing people off of the rafters. They killed multiple people. So
when disregarding the police is the first step to anarchy, isn't it?
Well, I think the first step to anarchy is when the government rigs the election, which is what happened. That is when the government loses its legitimacy and its enforcers, consequently, do also.
Well,
that's exactly what happened in 2020.
There is no evidence the government rigged the election. You know that. You're a bright guy.
Well, let's talk about it. You want to talk about the election of 2020?
Yeah. I think Trump lost it fair and square. I think he fought the wrong argument about the stolen election. I've said to him, to his face,
I agree.
The argument he should have said is that the deliberate suppression of things like the Hunter Biden laptop scandal from the media, by social media, by big tech, was actually a deliberate attempt to subvert the result of the election. And that's a much better argument because it's undeniable. When the New York Post that had that exclusive were basically shadow banned off all social media for the 2 weeks before the election, that was an absolute disgrace. And if I was Donald Trump, I would focus on that as being my main argument that that election was slanted against him. When he goes off into saying that there was widespread rigging and voter systems were wrong, we've litigated all this now through various court cases. Various Republican judges have ruled there was no rigging of that kind. In fact, the American election system is accepted by most people around the world as being one of the best in the world, one of the most reliable. So I just think he fought the wrong argument. If he said the deliberate suppression of damaging stories to the Bidens, which could have swung the election, was outrageous and unacceptable,
yeah, I mean,
I'm 100% behind it.
Pandered and
but by
mandered
building this spurious argument that it was all rigged through voting systems and so on, he lost me.
Well, I agree about the voting systems, but, you know, when they went into the machines, I think that was ridiculous. However, what has to be accounted for is that in 2016, 35% of the votes were cast by mail. By 2020, it was 70% because of the pandemic. Jeez. So you doubled the amount of votes that happened by mail. They called it in-person early voting. They called it a variety of different things. And the other thing that they changed is they solicited the mail-in ballots. So they sent ballots to people's houses. And once you do that, I mean, you have absentee balloting normally, but it's a process. You got to give your social security number, your ID. They send it to you. There's regulations in place. This is an election where they doubled the amount of mail-in votes and they sent ballots to people's houses. And when you do that, you break the chain of custody. So they send the ballot out and then they tell people return it at a 24-hour ballot drop site that's unsupervised. There's thousands of them. And they're going to hope that all the ballots that find their way into these drop boxes were filled out by the person that the ballot was intended for. And I know that didn't happen. I'll tell you why. My uncle has been dead for 26 years. He got a ballot in 2020. It was mailed to my parents' house. And you know that was happening in nursing homes. You know that was happening in apartment buildings.
But you
And
also
so I think
know that every independent body that has looked at this has concluded there was no widespread rigging, that it was a free and fair election, and Trump lost. And the bottom line is he should stop going on about it anyway, because he won back the White House in 2024.
Yeah, but
By
that's not
your,
the point.
okay, well,
as you
that's
have
a
been so
separate
keen to
argument.
tell
Yeah,
me,
it's the
move on,
principle.
right? No one wants to look back too far.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
a separate argument. I mean, you can say that he should stop talking about it, but whether it was rigged or not is actually relevant to what happened on January 6th. Because what happened on J6 is people were outraged about it. People were furious that, by the way, there's never been an independent ballot audit in all the states where there was alleged to be rigging. That has not happened. And certainly it did not happen up until January 6th. And people said, this is ridiculous. They're stealing it. You know, there
No,
was
if
that
people,
red
honestly,
mirage.
if either you or Donald Trump or anybody else wants to show me, I said this to him when I interviewed him last. You know, if you show me the actual hardcore, incontrovertible evidence, then great. I've never seen it. Joe Rogan asked him. He didn't produce it with Joe Rogan. It's just never been produced. But look, I don't want to labour the point on that. So I suppose the more interesting question now, as your influence rises in the conservative movement in America, and there's a lot of splits going on amongst MAGA over a number of issues, and about you, and you know this, is your split with Trump irrevocable? Do you feel now, as we head towards the year of the midterms, that it's time to now look to who his successor will be, and who do you think that person should be?
Jeez, I don't even know.
Well, it's not irrevocable, but I am very pessimistic about this administration. And succession is something that I've been interested in for as long as I've been doing this show. And I think it's very clear that they are grooming J.D. Vance to be that successor. And by they, I mean Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, Peter Thiel. There seems to be an organization that was put in place roughly around 2022 when Peter Thiel was very active in the midterm elections. He spent, I think, over $30 million, $15 million for Vance, $15 million for Masters, spent a lot of money in a lot of other congressional races, trying to unseat the Republicans that voted for impeachment in 21, and also building out a media market, building out a patronage network, funding things like Passage Press, Sovereign House, a number of other projects to create sort of like a self-contained media ecosystem. And Vance is clearly the selected nominee. That is who the interests want. And they've been pushing for him very strongly. So I think he's the heir apparent right now. There's a forceful push. I've heard good things about him. I've heard bad things about him too. And where I think it needs to go is I think we need to return to the message from 2016, what Trump said in the first election, which is we need to drain the swamp. We need to get the money out of politics, the super PACs, the special interests, put America first in foreign policy and the wars, close the border and deport the illegals, and reindustrialize America, bring back manufacturing, bring back jobs. We're in this Cold War with China. We need America to have productive capacity again. We need America to have wealth. So I think whoever is going to bring us back to that, that's who I'm going to support. And I haven't seen enough from Vance yet.
Yeah,
You
manufacturing.
called J.D. Vance's wife a Jeet. What does that mean?
It's a slur for Indians.
Why would you use that?
Well, you want the honest answer?
Because you're a racist?
No, there's actually a different reason. The reason why I said that, if you watch the whole show, did you watch that whole show?
No, but you've admitted you used that slur. I'm just curious why you would use that about a woman with her
I'll tell
heritage.
you, there's a really important reason why, and this is why context matters. If you look online at the people that are supporting J.D. Vance the most, they are racist. They're racist also, let's say. And they look at someone like myself. I don't support J.D. Vance. And they say, you're brown. You're a third worldist. They are gleefully participating in the cruelty, you could say the performative cruelty of the Trump administration. They say, you're going back. You have 100 days until you're being deported. You're going in a crystal. And then they tell us to vote for J.D. Vance. And so all I did on the show is I said, You have basically racist chuds that post memes about Indians all day on Twitter, memes about third worldists and Palestinians even. But then they want to turn around and support a guy who has said on Twitter, how dare you say I'm racist? I have non-white kids and I'm in an interracial marriage. And all I said is I just said that's a little ironic. I said that's hypocritical. And Vance is going to have to explain to all of his supporters who have gassed him up as the real mass deportation candidate. He's going to have to explain to them what's going on with that. What is with the contradiction? Because
and you
it is
don't
a
feel any
contradiction.
accountability for the millions of young people that will hear you use that slur and think it's fine to use it.
No one's going to go around just saying that.
No, I think that's
Jeez,
ridiculous.
Dude, that's stupid.
Let's take a final break and come back with a little kind of summary.
That is stupid,
of
man.
How you think this interview has gone for you.
Okay.
If you're a fan of epic fantasy, Arthurian legend, or just epic storytelling, I have some good news for you. The Pendragon Cycle, Rise of the Merlin, is the Daily Wire's new 7-part cinematic series, and it's so good, it will shock you. It's a top-quality reimagining of the King Arthur legend, which follows a young Merlin in a Britain torn apart by warring factions and standing on the brink of a new era with the rise of Christianity. Daily Wire Plus All Access members get the first 2 full episodes.
The rise of Merlin, bro. Dude, wasn't Merlin like the top wizard? Like Merlin's fame? I don't even know. Claim to fame? I don't even know what it was. No, Merlin. That's funny. What? Wasn't Merlin like supposed to be like a wizard who like mystical figure primarily featured in the legend of King Arthur, best known as magician, along with other main roles familiar to, yeah, I mean, yeah, Merlin was not what?
Christmas Day, not a teaser, not a sneak peek. Episodes 1 and 2 a full month before anybody else. So if you want to go ahead with the story, now's the time.
Yeah, Merlin was like Excalibur, right? I mean, Merlin in
to join, and with the sale happening right now, you can get 50% off memberships, including the All Access plan. The Pendragon Cycle, Rise of the Merlin, premieres on January the 22nd, but All Access members can start watching on Christmas morning. Head to .com so you don't miss out. Okay, next for Wednesday. We've been talking for nearly 2 hours. What is your view of how the interview has gone?
I think it was great. Honestly, I think it was a tough interview. You're a tough interviewer, but I don't think there were surprises. I will not say it was an ambush because it wasn't. I sort of anticipated that you would make some choices about how you wanted it to go, and I was fine with it. So I thought it was terrific.
I watched this
as a Catholic, you're probably aware the Jerusalem Post has recently called on the Pope to openly condemn you. Would it matter to you if the Pope did? He's an American Pope, obviously.
It would be very disheartening, yes.
Why?
Because he's our spiritual leader. He's the head of the church. He's the vicar of Christ. So if he condemned me, that would be very disheartening. And it would depend upon what he would say exactly. But yeah, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that at all.
If he condemned you because you've openly admitted to being a racist on this show?
Oh, this racist. I would be disappointed if he said that, because I think that word racist, it means something different to everybody.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just silly. I think that's just semantic.
Have you ever been in love in your life?
Dude, why is he?
No.
Hung up
No,
on his
like
love
romantically,
life?
no.
Yeah, never.
No.
Do you think that's part of the problem?
What's the problem?
Why you are the way you are.
Oh, and what's the way I am? What are you trying to say?
I've given people 2 hours of the way you are. You're unashamed about a lot of it.
I don't think I have a problem. I think I'm cheerful, boisterous. Look, unlike you, I'm willing to be a little well, I guess you're willing to be provocative, but I'm willing to be very provocative, and I'm a free thinker, and I don't like to be tone policed. I don't like to be told about, people are going to tone police and play moral cop about you can't make this joke or you can't make this statement. And I think that's just about being intellectually open. I'm a believer in openness, and I like ideas.
I completely agree. I think you should be perfectly free to express yourself exactly how you see fit. My problem is how you see fit with some of the things that you say. We've been through a lot of them, and I think people who don't know you very well will have been shocked in parts and surprised in other parts. But in totality, they can see you for what you are. I think we've got a lot nearer to what the real Nick Fuentes is in the last 2 hours than we probably have seen from your other recent interviews. Would you agree?
No, I mean, the clip thing, we've done the clip thing. We've all seen the clip show. Everyone's seen the clips. You think you're the first one to do the ADL rap sheet. So here you said this, and then here you said that. I've been playing that game for 10 years. So this is honestly more of the same, to tell you the truth.
Nick Fuentes, I appreciate you coming on Uncensored. Thank you very much.
That was great.
Thank you for having me.
He doesn't get it, dude. It's hysterical.
Well, my thanks to Nick Fuentes, and my thanks to the hundreds of thousands of you watching this special live episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored. As I said during the interview, I think it was firm but fair, but you can all make up your own minds. If you like what you do, please like and subscribe the channel so that we can keep doing it. I'm back tomorrow. Until then, whatever you're up to, keep it uncensored.
That's funny. I don't think he fully gets it. I got 30 minutes and I'm out of this place. I'm gonna go to the gym, work out, and then get ready for the day.
But who would want to watch? But who would want to watch a bunch of drag queens playing sports?
Well, I'm not a drag queen. I'm a trans one.
But who would want to watch a bunch of drag queens playing sports?
Well, I'm not a drag queen. I'm a trans woman. There's a big difference, Jesse.
But you are a man in a dress, so you're a drag queen. You can call it whatever you want. But in reality, it's a drag queen, right?
No, a drag queen is like an adult entertainer, Jesse. I'm not an adult entertainer, okay? I don't go to clubs and do shows and dance.
Oh.
I'm a proper lady. I'm just an average woman. What is funny?
Oh, God.
What are you laughing at, Jesse?
I'm laughing at you. It's just funny. I have with me, he is back, but this time he's coming in as a transgender person, and under the name of Willow Kessler. Willow Kessler, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Jesse. And just to start off, it's she. Thank you.
I'm sorry?
It's she. You kept saying him. It's she.
No, I said he came in as a transgender person this time, right?
Yes, but it's she. I'm a woman now.
Were you born a male?
Yes, I was.
And if you were born a male, how is it that you're a woman?
It's gender dysphoria, and
what does that mean?
You know, technically, I'm not a woman, but
what does that mean?
That's what I identify as.
But why identify as something that you're not? It's not sane to do that. So knowing that you are a male and pretending that you are...
All right, guys, we are at the University of Texas at Austin today. We are debating that Islam is incompatible with the West and that socialism is evil. I'm here with Prax Ben. Make sure to follow Prax Ben on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and follow Fearless Debates on YouTube. We just created a new channel for it, and we're trying to get it off the ground. What do you have to say, Ben?
I'm ready. Bring on the socialists.
Let's go.
So what is this skit here?
Come a little closer.
Okay.
You just want to make sure you got to talk close to the mic so that everyone can hear you.
Okay. Hello.
Yep.
Test.
Yep.
Okay.
Everyone can hear you. Yep.
Alrighty. So I see you have two signs here. You have socialism is evil. I don't care. Islam is incompatible with
the United States of America.
the United States of America. Why do you believe that?
I believe that the Quran and the Hadiths order people, Muslims, to do things that are in direct conflict and contradiction with the laws of the United States of America. Like, for example, the Quran calls for men who have disobedient wives to strike and beat those wives. The Quran calls for jihad against disbelievers, to slaughter and strike at the necks of disbelievers, things you can't do in the United States of America, and thus our laws and our society is in direct conflict with Islam.
I mean, I think I like think about this in the sort of more Christian perspective. If you're going to consider these specific verses, you can't only apply them to one religion, you have to apply them to all religion.
Well, cite me a verse of the Bible that says to kill infidels. I can cite you one from the Quran right now.
I can cite you when God told them to kill all the women and children in Galilee. It wasn't Galilee, but when they decided to kill all the women and children there. Say that again?
You talk about the Amalekites?
Yes.
Well, in this context, you're looking at ancient Near Eastern text, and
you are looking at ancient Christian text as well.
Well, it's not ancient Christian text. Christianity didn't exist at the time. So it's ancient Near Eastern text, it's Jewish text, of course. But if you look at other ancient Near Eastern texts, like the Assyrians, they use similar language in battle. They say, oh, we took out everybody. And there's actually certain civilizations that use that language against the Israelites and claim, we took out everybody. Men, women, and children, all of Israel was destroyed. But clearly that wasn't true, right? The Amalekites were not completely destroyed because we see the Amalekites appearing later in the scripture. This is like a very metaphorical thing. It's very common in war texts. You do not see the same thing in the Islamic text because we actually see historically, we have tons of historical records that they did these things, right?
I mean, if we were going to simply talk historically, we have all these historical records that Christians did things, whether it becomes the Crusades, whether it be...
You're also looking at descriptive things as opposed to prescriptive things, right? So if you're describing a battle where lots of people were killed, that's different than giving a direct order in the Quran that says...
Well, I just cited you a direct order that God gave the army, and yet you apply it saying that is a metaphor, but in the Quran it is not a metaphor.
Yeah, we know it is because the Amalekites appear later in the scripture, right? But if you look at what the actually did, you don't see this where they just spared people. They tried to wipe out all the infidels.
For example, Surah Muhammad, chapter 47, verse 4. So when you meet those who disbelieve, strike their necks until you have inflicted slaughter upon them. Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 191 and 193. Kill them, the disbelievers, wherever you find them, and expel them from wherever you find them.
I could also Google Christian verses that incite violence.
Okay, so pull some up.
Okay, I'll Google some right now.
And please use the New Testament.
Please use the New Testament.
Yeah. Teachings of Jesus.
Teachings of Jesus. Okay. I mean,
You're not gonna find any teaching. You're not gonna find Jesus ever calling for violence, so that would be a waste of your time.
It's true.
It's loading, but
you're never gonna find that.
at the same time, I will say that we are talking about Islam. Islam is a religion. It is very old. So is Christian. Most people here are Muslim. Are people. Fantastic time. There are friends. There are students. It is not American to say that Muslims and Islamic people do not have a right to be here.
I'm not saying they don't have a right to be here. I'm just saying they don't have a right to practice Islam to its full extent. Like, if you just look at what the Quran orders them to do, as to those women on whose part you fear disobedience, not even that they have disobeyed, just you fear disobedience, admonish them, forsake them in bed, and strike them. Right? You can't do that in the United States of America. You're not going to be able to fully practice Islam in the U.S. because you can't kill infidels, you can't hit your wife, you can't force your wife to have sex with you. That's spousal rape. It's illegal. You can't harm gay people. Things you cannot do in the United States of America. So you're not going to be able to fully practice Islam.
I mean, but we look about in this, when you talk about fundamental Christian beliefs, when you talk about Christian beliefs, there's been historical violence that also has done it, as well as Islam. I feel like if you hyper-focus...
Not following Christian prescriptions,
the Pope has...
I mean, but if you look at the Crusades...
The central figure has caused many Crusades.
The Crusades were defensive.
The Crusades were not defensive.
Yes, they were.
How are the Crusades
They're absolutely defensive. You can read historians like Rodney Stark.
These are Muslim people living on the land, living on the Holy Land, allowing for pilgrimage. How is the Crusades a defensive act when people from Europe are leaving on boats to go into the Middle East?
So the Crusades were not all about the Holy Lands. It was not all about the Holy Lands. It was because the Muslims were going into Christian land. Almost all of the land that Islam occupies today is historically Christian land. They were going into the Christian land. Ethiopia was a Christian land, okay? But now, it's lots of Muslims, right? Well, how'd that happen? Conquest. Large chunks of Spain was ruled by Muslims. That's Europe. Large chunks of Europe were ruled by Muslims. Muslims took millions of European Christians as slaves. That's why the Crusades happened.
I mean, when you're talking...
The Holy Land is not historically a Muslim land. Arabs, the people who founded Islam, come from the Arabian Peninsula.
Why they're bleeping words
right?
out for it.
Not the Levant.
Which is a lot closer than Europe. The Arabian Peninsula is...
It's not the Levant, that's for sure. It's hundreds of miles away.
That's a non sequitur. That's a complete non sequitur. The Christians were going to defend the Christians that were being enslaved. The Arabs took over these lands from Jews and Christians.
It's interesting because it is both sides do these things. Christians enslaved Muslims, whether you talk about the slave trade, whether you talk about actual historical evidence. But when you hyper-focusate on a Muslim,
the slave trade was contrary to Christianity. That's why Christians abolished it. All of the largest abolitionists, all of the abolitionist movements were led by Christians. The abolitionist movements were led by Christians.
In the Bible.
Furthermore, the Bible does not call for you to take disbelievers slave. The Quran does. It says specifically wherever you find infidels, if you cannot kill them, secure their bonds and take them prisoner.
See, once again, you have Bible verses that say how a good slave should act, how you should act under slavery, be kind to your masters, be this. But you give sort of the Bible sort of this credit where you go, oh, they're just saying that for the time, but you will not prescribe that same perspective for Islam.
All right, I want you to actually draw the parallels. So if you look at the Bible, you see a time where lots of people were slaves, and they're being told, here's how to do good in your life, okay? Here's how to do good in your life if you are a slave. Whereas if you look at Islam, they're being explicitly ordered to take slaves who are non-believers. How is that parallel?
How is that parallel? I would say it's more like the justification for slavery in and of itself is inherently wrong, and that both these texts do justify slavery to an extent.
No.
I personally, the saying to be a good slave, to not act, to respect your masters is a justification for slavery.
No, it's not. If that was the case, then Christians wouldn't have been the ones that freed the slaves. It was Christians you know who the first abolitionist was? It was Saint Gregory of Nyssa. He was the first person who called for the abolition of slavery. Saint Gregory of Nyssa freed the slaves. It was Christians you know who the first abolitionist was? It was Saint Gregory of Nyssa.
Saint Gregory of Nyssa. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. In 394, he intended to sign. Gave church, may your service last 5 saints before entering the monastery of his brother Basil the Great. Gregory was married, although the scholar believed that his treatise on Virginia argue against that. He became the bishop and that doesn't even really do anything. Was the first bishop to advance early in the mid-3rd century period. Christians suffered persecution from the local Roman authorities. The community remained very small through the 3rd century when succeeded to bishopric. Early life, education. One essence and 3 persons. The formula adapted by the Council of Constantinople in 381, like other. Man, it's so bright. That's better. It was just so bright. Gregory was one of the first theologians to argue that God is infinite. That the infinite God is is his belief that God is limitless and essentially incomprehensible to limited minds of created beings in the life of Moses. So every concept that comes from some comprehensible image by an approximate understanding and by guessing at the divine nature constitutes God does not proclaim God. Thus, he proposed that God should be defined in terms of what we know he is not rather than what we might speculate him to be. Towards the unreachable knowledge of God as the individual continually transcends all which has been reached before. In the life of Moses, Gregory speaks of the 3 stages of spiritual growth: initial darkness of ignorance, spiritual illumination, and finally a darkness of the mind and mystic contemplation of the God who cannot be comprehended. Yeah, I mean, Gregory was one of the early proponents of Christian universalism. Gregory argues that when Paul says that God will be in all in all, this means that though some may need to undergo a long period of purification, eventually not being will remain outside the number of the saved, and that being created by God will fall outside the kingdom of God. Due to the unity of human nature in Christ, all thanks to union with one another will be joined in communion with God and Jesus Christ our Lord. Christ's incarnation, death, resurrection result in total salvation for human nature. Greatest is God's work in the way his God and his one. And all right, I'll read that later.
You know,
he was the first person who called for the abolition of slavery. He's a Christian.
I would love a Google fact check because I mean the first anti-slave. There's countries that didn't have slaveries in the first place.
Google Gregor of Nyssa, first person to.
He thinks it's wrong to birth.
Yeah, you Google it. the early church, the Christians went out and they purchased slaves and freed them. And it was a Christian movement. It was Christian nations, the UK, England, and the United States that abolished slavery.
This all boils down to the fact that Christianity in a modern societal mindset also does not fit. It doesn't fit with what we believe here. Women here are wearing 2 different types of clothing. Women here have the right.
Christian beliefs.
Women here have the right to talk against people. Women here have rights. I feel like.
Are you a Christian?
I was.
Okay.
I was.
And while you were Christian, did you believe that people couldn't wear 2 types of fabric and we had to adhere to Mosaic law?
Yes, but right now you are arguing like strict verses. Each time you are telling me that these verses of Islam matter and these things, and then I give you a Christian verse and you go, oh, but that doesn't count.
No, you're giving Mosaic law. That's not. Christians don't adhere to Mosaic law.
Do they adhere to the Bible?
Yeah.
That is in the Bible.
They don't adhere to everything in the Bible.
So that's
Both
once again, you say Muslims adhere to everything in the Quran, and you say Christians do not adhere to everything in the Bible.
These are explicit prescriptions for all Muslims for all time.
I just said a specific transcription. I just said
the Quran says that Muhammad, you have to listen to him for all time. He's the moral standard for all time, for all Muslims for all time.
Once
it's
again,
not the same with Mosaic law.
The Bible says the same thing. This is the thing for all Christians.
Then why have no Christians since the first century? Why have we not been practicing Mosaic law? So that we all got it wrong, but you got it right.
Muslims have not been mass murdering Christians, doing all this.
Are you kidding me?
Holy cow.
Are you kidding me? Syria, Israel,
so
and you want to talk about furthermore like child marriage? I could give you a.
We got a lot, man. I don't know how many. I wonder how many inches of snow we got last night. Crazy out there. I didn't realize. So I woke up today. It was like 6 a.m. It was still pretty dark out, and then now that's getting lighter out, man. Holy cow, the snow. It's gonna be a cold one today. It looks like. I don't even know what. It's supposed to snow for a while.
Israel is committing a genocide.
I'm not finished. That's wrong. Incorrect. I'm not finished.
Do you not believe Israel's committing a genocide?
We can get into that in a second. No, I do not believe that. If you want to talk about the practice of child rape and child marriage, for example, it's virtually legal in every...
If you want to talk about child rape, look at priests. Don't get angry.
Do you have a lack of impulse control? We're going to rotate you out.
What a poor argument that is, dude.
If you can't control your impulse.
There's bad people everywhere you go, you idiot, dude. There's bad people in everything.
You rotate me out. Do not bang things. You're trying to bang things.
If you cannot control your impulses, we will rotate you out.
People use that argument. It's so stupid.
When we are speaking, you are not speaking. When you ask us a question, you allow us to answer the question without running your mouth. Okay, so you're saying that Muslims don't practice these things, but child rape and child marriage is legal in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Iraq, Lebanon, Sudan, Maldives, Libya, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, Jordan, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria. Obviously, they're practicing these things. That it absolutely is true.
Not practiced.
What is the legal age of marriage in Yemen?
I'm not going to know these hyper-specific laws about each country.
Zero.
What is the legal age of marriage? And legal age of marriage, you can get married to a child here in the U.S. if you have parental consent. This is not a good argument.
With some exceptions, and we disagree with that law, but there's a difference between being allowed to marry a 17-year-old with parental consent and the Prophet Muhammad marrying a 6-year-old and raping her at 9. Do you see the difference? There's a difference between marrying a 17-year-old and marrying a 6-year-old.
We are talking historically. Christians.
There is never a point in history where marrying a 6-year-old and raping a 9-year-old was ever acceptable.
Yeah,
that is true. I hate
But that's exactly what the Prophet Muhammad
but
did.
you are giving Christians all of these sort of like, oh, it's okay. It might be in their scripture, but
you're just you're misciting it.
How am I misciting?
The Quran says that the Prophet Muhammad is the moral standard for all Muslims for all time. So if he's allowed to marry a 6-year-old, that means other Muslims can do that. They can do the same, and many of them believe that, and that's why they still marry children in these Islamic countries today.
They do.
Right?
There is not
lots of Muslims in the West. Lots of Lots of Muslims in the West don't believe this because they've assimilated into our culture, which was created by Christianity, and it was Christians that abolished child marriage across the world. They've assimilated into our culture to the extent that they will cope and say, actually, Aisha was 19. She was 19. Because we've done such a good job at turning them against child marriage.
Okay, I have like 3 minutes left. Can we just talk about Israel-Palestine, how you guys don't think that genocide is happening despite...
What's a genocide?
What is a genocide? A genocide is a mass ethnic cleansing when it comes to like disrupting a people, murder. You're gonna cite me, actually birth rates have gone up. You can still perpetuate a genocide. You can still kill 70,000 people, including children, including women, and the population can still go up as births are still happening.
I need a clearer definition of genocide.
What is your definition of genocide?
My definition of genocide is going to be a clear attempt and execution to mass murder an entire group of people, which has not happened.
That is happening right now.
Okay, so if that's happened, why has less than 1% of the population died?
I would need to say that 70,000 people is enough people to be constituted as a genocide.
Okay, so when Russia invaded the city of Mariupol, they killed 30,000 people in the first 30 days. Experts estimate the death toll is 5 times that high. Do you think that Russia did a genocide?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, how about this? When we invaded Berlin, we killed 400,000 Nazis. Did we do a genocide against the Nazis?
Were we ethnically killing, were we purposely killing civilians in this
We were
case?
dropping bombs on Berlin.
Were we
purposely
aiming for civilian targets?
Okay, so now you've modified the definition. You've now modified.
If we were purposely killing civilians, then what we did was
You've modified the definition. Prove that the IDF is intentionally killing civilians.
It has been proven by the UN. It has been proven by the International Criminal Court.
What is the
International
evidence?
Criminal Court has stated that Israel is purposely killing. If you look at the
That's an opinion. Now give me evidence. That's an opinion.
This is
now give me evidence.
the opinion of the International Criminal Court.
Run by who? Politicians. I don't trust politicians. Do you? Now give me a citation. Provide evidence.
If every single thing that is International Criminal Court, the UN...
You're appealing to popular opinion. It was the popular opinion in this country at one point that we could own people. Right? Popular opinion doesn't matter.
You can obfuscate, you can change, you can say, oh, it was the popular opinion back then. I'm appealing to the experts on the ground, whether it be
exactly.
doctors,
You're committing a logical fallacy. You're appealing to authority and popular opinion.
You just made a logical fallacy like 10 seconds ago where you said, well, but actually, we agreed for slavery. Dude,
that's not a logical fallacy. I'm pointing out your logical fallacy by saying you're appealing to popular opinion, but popular opinion doesn't mean it's correct. Right? Popular opinion was that you could own slaves in this country.
70,000 civilians.
Okay, rotate out. You don't know how to shut your mouth when other people are talking. Rotate. Next
person. You were
person.
talking over me. How do you justify the death of 70,000
You asked a question, I answered it. Easily. That's how.
Okay.
Sure.
Hello.
Hi, how's it
So
going?
I'm a little sick, so I might be coughing a lot. Just so
That's
you know.
okay.
Okay. So socialism is evil. How do you justify the billions of people that have died from capitalism,
Oh
and also
my
just
gosh,
like
dude.
all the terrible things that like
billions of people?
Okay, I'm out. I gotta get going. I'm going to the gym, doing things. I work out 11 o'clock today, so I'm out. Until next time, may peace be with you. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. I'm Justin. Love ya. Peace.